While today, the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hodesh is generally celebrated as a monthly holiday that commemorates women, historically, the holiday is actually rooted in the Bible and Talmud, as a day that celebrates the arrival of a new moon. In the Bible, the moon is first mentioned during the creation of the earth in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 to 18. However, there is no mention of Rosh Hodesh until Numbers, when the ritual of sounding trumpets over sacrifices on Rosh Hodesh and other festivals is discussed. The holiday is mentioned later in Numbers as well, when it specifies the sacrifices that need to be made on Rosh Hodesh. There is also a reference to Rosh Hodesh in Psalms 81, 4-5, when the need to blow up the shofar upon the arrival of a new moon and full moon is mentioned. In addition to the Bible, the Talmud also discusses the holiday of Rosh Hodesh. Since the 1st century, when it was first recorded that the Jewish people used a lunar calendar, Rosh Hodesh has been synonymous with the appearance of a new moon. This new moon indicated that a new month had arrived. After the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem in 68 CE, however, sacrifices became less important in the Jewish tradition, as did nature. Because of this, the arrival of a new moon was not enough to declare a new month. Instead, in addition to the sighting of a new moon, the rabbinical court began to check the declaration against their own lunar calculations. If the court found the sighting to be in line with their calculations, a new month was declared. Importantly, the new month was not official until it was affirmed by the rabbinical court, since nothing could be holy without the court's permission. This shift from a dependence on observation to instead calculation indicated a major change in the Jewish tradition. Once the Jewish people began to use the lunar calendar based on calculations rather than observation, the religion as a whole became less dependent on nature. As a result, sacred time was determined not by nature, but by humans, mainly the rabbis, which in turn gave them more control over when sacred activities would be performed. Since this was the case, whenever the rabbis saw a new moon, they would say a blessing. The blessing that was said is seen to be the origin of the Kiddush Levana, the monthly ritual of observing and sanctifying a new moon. During the medieval and early modern periods, Rosh Hodesh also took on many new rituals and changed many existing rituals. The Kabbalists, the Jews who believed in the mystical study of Judaism, invented the holiday of Yom Kippur Katan, the minor day of atonement, to fall on the day prior to Rosh Hodesh. The reason for this was because the Kabbalists associated the moon with the Shechinah, the feminine aspect of God. Shechinah receives her light from God, just as the moon receives light from the sun. Therefore, the darkest days of the lunar cycle, the ones right before the new moon, were seen as the darkest days of Shechinah. In order to redeem Shechinah, the Jews needed to repent, hence the creation of Yom Kippur Katan.
While the lunar aspect of the holiday remains important, today, Rosh Hodesh is often referred to and thought of as the women's holiday. The Talmud claims that the holiday specifically commemorates women because in biblical times, the women of Israel refused to give jewelry to the golden calf. They are said to have yelled,
"To make something detestable and abominable that had no power over salvation? No, we will not listen to you!"
And so, as a reward for their righteousness, the women were exonerated from working on Rosh Hodesh. It is also largely recognized, however, that Rosh Hodesh and women are much more connected than the above story reveals. Symbolically, Rosh Hodesh connects the divine to the feminine gender. As the holiday revolves around the lunar cycle, it parallels, in a way, the female menstrual cycle. Through this attunement to the lunar cycle, women's closeness to nature is celebrated. Furthermore, the word womb in Hebrew is also an acronym for new moons, pertinent since Rosh Hodesh marks the beginning of each Hebrew month based on the beginning of the new lunar cycle. From the 16th to the early 20th centuries, women celebrated Rosh Hodesh by writing and reciting personal prayers in Yiddish. The importance of the holiday quieted, however, in the later 20th and 21st centuries. Not until 1972, in fact, did women officially begin observing Rosh Hodesh as the new moon holiday. More recently, however, Jewish feminists have revived the holiday and put effort into engaging more women in the celebration of their gender and place within the Jewish religion. Today, the holiday is widely celebrated via prayer groups, study groups, ceremonies, articles, books, etc. In this revival of Rosh Hodesh as a valuable and important holiday, Meisha Falk points out that an important step has been made in Jewish tradition. To illustrate her point, she poetically writes in the Book of Blessings, "Renewing the new moon festival, hallowing it today, we weave new threads into the tapestry of tradition."
As noted earlier, Rosh Hodesh is not only a holiday reserved for women, however. It is also a holiday that is also largely connected to nature and therefore pertinent to every Jew. Symbolically speaking, the new moon means new hope and new life. Rosh Hodesh thus offers every Jewish person a fresh start to every month. According to the commentaries of the Shaim, the waxing and waning of the moon is compared to the Jewish people's cycles of prosperity and suffering, knowing that even in darkness, there are brighter days ahead. Applying this thought to Jewish history, Rosh Hodesh becomes symbolic of the Jewish perseverance through thick and thin. It becomes applicable to every Jew's story and can be used as a day to rejuvenate and start fresh a new month. Participating in the rituals of the day, therefore, should be enjoyed not only by women, but by everyone.
Blessed are you, merciful one, who makes us holy, by giving us commandments and who gives us the new moon as a sign of eternal beginnings. Blessed are you, who guides us to renew ourselves like the moon. Welcome to all who gather.
I am Bethany, daughter of Miriam.
I am Tanya, daughter of Judy.
I am Candy, daughter of April.
We welcome
Rosh Hodesh, Nisan.
Renewing the new moon festival, hallowing it today, we weave new threads into the tapestry of tradition. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed.
Blessed are you who gives us the new moon. This is a sign of beginning anew. Blessed are you as we start all over again. New moon, ancient light, may my spirit rise to you in April's sky. God makes the moon to mark the seasons. The sun knows when to set. You bring on darkness, and it is night, when all the best in the forest stir. You have granted your people new moon festivals as a time of atonement throughout the generations.